This guide is part of the Building an Offense in In.syght series. For the full series, you can check out the playlist on my channel. This guide will cover tips and tricks for making Hitconfirms easier. If you're not super familiar with Hitconfirms, what they are and why they're important, then be sure to check out my accompanying guide before you get into this. You can find the link to that in the description. So before I get into the actual tips and tricks, I have a quick disclaimer. They're called Hitconfirms and not Blockconfirms, and there's a reason for that. You should be defaulting to the attack being blocked, and then go into your Hitconfirm if you see the hit. There's simply better risk reward this way, and we're going to be going about this under the assumption that that's what you're doing, trying to react to the hit. As Hitconfirming is all about reacting quickly, these tips and tricks will be split up into two sets. First, we'll go over some tips to give yourself more time to react, and then we'll go over some tricks that'll help you react faster. Starting off easy, use more Hitconfirmable attacks. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but this goes a long way. Some moves are simply easier to Hitconfirm than others, such as moves with really long hit stun or multi-hits. And even in cases where another move might be better on paper, being able to Hitconfirm a move means a lot. So if you're favoring moves that are more Hitconfirmable in your play, then you'll land more of your Hitconfirms. Our next tip is staggering. This is quite literally just giving yourself more time to react. If you stagger, you have the additional time that you delayed your move to react for the Hitconfirm. This also has the twofold bonus of staggering for your Blockstrings is good most of the time anyway. You need to be careful of where and how much you stagger though, as some combos won't work with the added delays. Getting a little bit more complicated now, the next trick is building Hitconfirms into your Blockstrings. What this means is finding out which of your Hitconfirms can serve a double purpose as Blockstrings. That way, you can go into it on hit or on block, and then you have the entire duration of the next move to confirm whether it hits or is blocked. This makes the most sense with an example, so let's go over one. So for Eltnum, her usual Hitconfirm off of 2B is 2C. Now 2B into 2C is also a decent Blockstring. So if you use 2C after 2B every time, which is fine because, as stated, it's a good Blockstring and a good Hitconfirm, now, not only do you have the time to Hitconfirm off of 2B like normal, you have the entire duration of 2C to confirm the hit. This one's similar to the last tip, but whereas before we turned our Hitconfirms into Blockstrings, here we'll be turning our Blockstrings into Hitconfirms. Again, this is best explained by example. So the usual Hitconfirm off of Eltnum's 2C is Jump Charge C. Now a common Blockstring follow-up for 2C is Reverse Beating into 2A. Sometimes you will fail to Hitconfirm 2C early enough, and you will go into 2A, as you should. You can still turn this into a full combo though. While the combo you get is worse than the Charge Jump C combo, it is still important to cash out here as much as possible. Another tip is to use easier Hitconfirms. So the optimal Hitconfirms might give you trouble, there might not be much time for you to go for them, they might be difficult to execute, whatever it is. There might be another combo, or Blockstring, or Hitconfirm that gives you more time to react. Remember, being Hitconfirmable means a lot. So if you can't do the normal Hitconfirm, doing an easier one is actually better for you. One fringe trick is empty canceling. This technique can be applied to any time your Hitconfirm is a special or a super. Empty canceling is where you input the motion for the Hitconfirm as if you were doing the combo, but then you only press the button when you react to the hit. So even though normally you would react then input the full motion for the special, now all you have to do is react and press a single button. This means however long it takes for you to input that motion is additional time you have to react for the hit confirm. On average, this saves players about 5 frames, but this will vary of course depending on your personal execution. That's all I got for tips that give you more time to react. So moving on to the next set of tips, looking into lowering how long it takes for you to react. So first off, and most importantly, really know your combos. It's part of the definition for hit confirming, but this is often overlooked. You can't hit confirm if you don't know the hit confirm. But in addition, you don't have time to stop and think about what your hit confirm is. You have to really know it and be comfortable executing it. Just like taking a timed test, you could have all the answers, but if you don't really know the content, you might not have time to finish. And as we've been saying, hit confirming is all about time. My next word of advice is be prepared. Before you throw out any attack, whether in neutral, offense, defense, doesn't matter. Be ready to look for the hit and be ready to go into your hit confirm if you see it. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how often people fail to hit confirm just because they weren't looking for the hit. They didn't think it would hit. As such, you need to be prepared for if it does. The next tip is to ignore the hows that don't matter. I'm referring here to that part of the hit confirm definition of noticing how an attack hits. For example, if a move has the same hit confirm on counter hit as it does on regular hit, then you don't need to pay attention to whether or not the move lands as a counter hit. This one's a bit more rare, but don't try to react when you don't have to. Sometimes there are option selects or situations where you don't have to try to react to a hit confirm. For example, if you're trying to anti-air with a normal, well, they can't block that normal. And if you get hit or you end up whiffing the move, it doesn't really make a difference if you try to go into your hit confirm or not. So you might as well go into your hit confirm anyways. Here's a big one. Practice hit confirming. I know this almost goes without saying, but it can't be overstated how important practice is to hit confirming specifically. There are clear audio and visual cues for attacks hitting that are very distinct from attacks being blocked. As you keep doing these hit confirms and keep getting more comfortable with them, your reactions will speed up. Each individual hit confirm will need to be practiced though. Getting good at one doesn't mean you'll be good at all the others. So the last actual tip I have for you is to learn your more important hit confirms first. Similar to how you learn your bread and butter combos first, and then you get into the more advanced and situational ones later, you should learn your more common and easier hit confirms before the rare or difficult ones. And work on them one at a time if you have to. Now, if you aren't sure what those hit confirms would be, try to think about your matches, or go through a few of your own replays and see what you hit the most often. That's a pretty good way to go about it. One final note, don't be afraid to sacrifice easier hit confirms sometimes. If you always go for the things that are just easy hit confirms, then you're missing out on a lot of strong tools. A clear example of this is tick throws. Tick throws leave you zero chance of hit confirming off the initial jab, but the technique is so powerful. And there are other times that aren't quite as clear as this, but it's still worth doing. It's especially worth doing to keep your opponent on their toes and avoid being predictable. Alright guys, so there's a couple more things I want to say regarding hit confirming before I leave off this video. For one, I want to talk about just how helpful all these tips and tricks are, alright? So, for me personally, I have pretty bad reaction time, okay? It's not It's not horrendous, but it's notably below average, alright? And I would say that my hit confirming is notably above average, right? Honestly, when I stick with the game enough and I keep practicing it, then hit confirming becomes my specialty even, right? Like, I become that good at it. And that's because I'm implementing all these tips and tricks that well. And, you know, it really goes to show because I can't just pick up a new game or a new character or anything and be right away, yo, check me out. Quick reaction time, hit confirm God over here. Like, nah, that's not me. My reaction time sucks, as I said. So, you know, if you're out there right now thinking, oh, hey, my reaction time sucks, I can't do this, like, you're wrong, dude. You can totally do it. But yeah, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is how, honestly, if you keep practicing hit confirming, you'll become actual second nature to you. I mean, literal second nature. You will land the hit, not even thinking about it, you're just doing some random stuff, you're thinking about something completely different, you're staring at the grid gauge, even, and you will land the hit, and you will go into your hit confirm. It just happens, right? Because you have subconsciously trained your brain to know what it looks like, react to it, and your muscle memory will just kick in, and bam, combo, right there. Don't even... It's crazy, honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, I guess that's it. So, if you like the video, let me know. If you have any more tips for other people, leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to do the same, right? If I think of anything else later, I'll put a comment, let you guys know of other tips and tricks for hit confirming. Right? Subscribe for keeping up with the channel and more content. Peace. Good luck, guys.